Good everyone, and today is another episode of Builders Corner, a storytelling series where we spotlight builders, share their wins, their losses, and lessons they have learned building products. And today with me, I have no anybody than Annaelechukwu. So can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
All right, thank you very much for having me in this particular show. My name is Nduka Annaelechukwu, and people popularly know me as Annaelechukwu. And one more thing, that I'm also the most handsome man in Enugu State. My background is focused on community, right? I am a community person. I've also been able to create several communities like Alphablocks, where we onboard students and people into the Web3 space through education. And then we also have a Blockchain University of Nigeria, where we onboard students of University of Nigeria into the Web3 space by hosting educational sessions and what more. And then also other communities like Flogging Nigeria, where we focus on environmental sustainability. And there's so many of them. These are just a few I could mention for now.
A lot of communities from the most handsome man in Enugu State. You deserve a round of applause for that. It's nice having you on the show. I want to ask you, as a community developer, what are you before you became, instead of building communities, what are you doing?
What I did before community management was basically just a student. I was just trying to gather knowledge in different areas to have an idea of what's happening within my environment. I also had interest in tech, trying to see how I could make money in this tech ecosystem. Then sometimes I create some comedy videos. I've even tried music. I tried music, and then I had one track song which is still there on Audio Mac, but it didn't blow. So I did comedy, just a few videos, which most of them I don't even have access to them anymore. And then I also tried the YouTube video content creation, where I started creating gospel music lyric videos, but I had issues with copyright strikes. So I think I sold the account to a friend of mine and then moved on from there. I've tried so many other, even paid to click platforms. Even there's one platform that we called NNU, where you subscribe online and then like you share posts and how those things. So I tried most of those things, and then at some point, I think the one that gingered me most was one particular one they called Super Live or something like that. And when I tried that particular one, I realized that the person who built this platform was a very young guy, almost my age mate. I was like, why my mates go they build this kind of application and I'm here subscribing, hustling for 1K per day? I said, nah, I was really moved. I was like, nah, I need to start doing something different. I started making research. That was when I now started the YouTube stuff and creating content. And from there, I sold the account, used the funds to now got into Web3. So that's how the journey went through.
Wow, that's
Kind of funny one.
That's a very long ride. For a very long ride. I'm glad you're open to sharing all of that on Builders Corner. What was the first thing you ever built with a team or solo?
The first thing I built was a community. Back then, when after learning Web3, understanding what it was, I realized that there are so many persons who didn't know what it was, right? And I was looking for ways to help them get into the Web3 space through that education. Back then, we had several mentors who knew Web3 that much, and to access them was quite difficult. They give you high costs. You have to pay $400, you have to pay $300 to join their WhatsApp group and all that. But I was able to started a session on WhatsApp, which was for free, and I did that like 2 weeks WhatsApp classes, where every night by 8 p.m. I come to the WhatsApp group. I start teaching them maybe a particular topic in the basic section. I did that for 2, 3, 4 times, and then that was where I was able to like build a community. I realized that I wouldn't be the only one to manage all those WhatsApp groups and those people, right? Several persons were having different requests. How do I convert my money from this to that? How do I do this wallet? Does XRP do this or that? So many questions from different places, right? For that reason, I had to build a team immediately. I had some admins who assisted me with the process. And these admins were people who also took part in my cohort. So they are more like my students who learned what I did. And from there, they were able to, assist me in becoming a team member. And then from there, we started rebranding the committee from what it used to be then to what it is now. Back then, we had our name as A1 Crypto, from A1 Crypto to A1 Blockchain Hub, then from A1 Blockchain Hub to Alphablocks now. Sometimes if you search A1 Blockchain Hub somewhere, you might see it on Google, that's us, but it's just rebranded. That's how it has been then.
That's interesting. That means you guys evolved with the whole window.
Absolutely, we evolved. I'll definitely keep evolving because a whole lot is changing, right? Looking forward to having AI now. I think we already have one in our team now, which is an AI agent. On Twitter, it's Lumi Oncelo, at Lumi Oncelo, which if you have any Web3 questions, you can just type it and ask the question and then it'll answer you after like a few minutes. That's one other interesting thing.
So have you built anything that didn't work out in the past?
Is it like in Web3 or?
We're in Web3.
I've tried out several things, and one major thing I'm sure it did not work out is coding.
Coding.
Yes. There was this season when it became as if Web3 developers were like the top-notch guys, like devs. If you are not a dev, then you are just no one. And I was struggling to get into the Web3 space, trying to learn how to code. I joined, in fact, I think I've joined Web3 bridge cohorts up to 4 or 5 times. Every year, whenever they start a register, once I'm done with HTML, CSS, when it's closing towards JavaScript, I quit, right? Because, man, it's not for me, right? It's not for me. I just prefer hanging out with people, hosting events, coming around, doing stuff with people than just staying at home, sitting at a place, trying to code. And, man, I feel like that's just better for me. That's just one thing I'm sure it didn't work. But I hope it works anyway, because I think it will give me more insight towards what the Web3 infrastructure looks like these days.
Especially from the aspect of the back end.
Exactly. Most technical stuff, if you don't have an idea of how they function, then you might have issues with understanding and being able to decrypt them as well.
Very, very true. What are the lessons you learned from not being able to code?
Lessons I learned from not learning coding?
Or let's say, what were the lessons you learned since you're no more coding?
There's pretty much. I think the main thing is doing more with people actually matters, right? And also sticking with what you want matters too. I got to a point where people started reaching out to me and were like, "Are they been anywhere where I followed you to do community stuff instead of learning how to code?" Right? I'm now like, I thought coding was the whole thing that people are rushing. Why are you now talking about community now? I feel like you just have to keep doing what you love, what you're passionate about. And then definitely you see how it turns out for you. People feel like getting to the community management space it's too congested, you get. But I don't think that's the main thing. What people should focus more on is being the best or being good at what you do, right? If there are 100 community managers, at least be among the top 10. You understand? So that's how it should be. You shouldn't be worrying about whether they have 10 million. If you talk about graphic designing right now, there are so many graphic designers. But then if you're not in the maybe top 100 in your environment or top 10, you'll be lagging behind because, of course, you need to work harder. So I think that's one thing. So sticking with whatever you choose and, keep pushing on it is good to go. And then one other thing I'm happy about is that because I stick with that, people are not realizing that community is actually number one. You get. You're done building a Web3 project and you don't have people to use the project, then what's the essence? I've seen so many products that people are not even downloading their apps or even trying to maybe, set up an account or something because why? Users, the community are not happy with it. They don't want such products. So yeah, community should be considered first before anything else, right? That's one good thing I will be able to share.
Wow, that's interesting. Community is king.
100%.
It is king. There's no product without a community. If you do a very good product and there's nobody to test it out, no users, trust me, you can't use your own product by yourself. You still have to collab with communities, partner with communities to put your product out there. So thanks for sharing that insight. So are there any unfinished projects in the past you have participated in? It could be solo or with a team.
I've participated in major 2 hackathons. One was around 2021 era, where what we built was called Area Connects. What it does is to connect you to nearest, shops within your location. Yeah. Nearest businesses and all that. So that was it then. It wasn't much of Web3, although it was a Web3 hackathon, but the product side wasn't much of Web3. So, but aside that, we didn't win the hackathon. So I don't know, everyone, aside the fact that, I had different friends who participated in the hackathon. 2 Israeli, 1 from US, 1 from India, like different time frames. So it was really difficult moving forward. Right? But that one aside, the other one was another hackathon which we had at Falcon conference. That was 2022. And the project was called Evify. And what it does was to verify, documents. For instance, you are driving and then you get to a particular police checkpoint and then they ask you for your papers. Sometimes you come to realize that these papers have already been rough handled, or maybe they have been torn, or maybe important, details are no longer visible there, yeah. But if it's on Evify, it's now on chain, right? Instead of like having those documents uploaded in the Web2 space, they are now going to be uploaded on chain. right? It's not just being on chip, but like authenticated, right? And then there is going to be a root ID, which is tied to, let's say, the central system managed or handled by the police, right? Once you have that, and maybe all you just need is a QR code that proves that you've uploaded all your documents. And then you can stick the QR code in a part of your car, or you can just put it in your dashboard or anywhere. So once you get to a checkpoint, the police should be able to scan the QR code and then to show on chain that those records are verified. The same way you have NFTs, you can verify NFTs. It will show on chain that those documents are verified. And then it will also be linked to the actual root ID, which is owned by the police. So I think that was what we did then. But we were not able to, finish up the project because we faced a bit of challenge in terms of integrating to Web3.
So I want to ask you that first. So what are the lessons you learned?
I learned a lot. In participating in hackathons, I learned a lot, understanding the basic things about pitching, preparing yourself ahead of time, because there's something that happened during the Falcon conference. I told you I'm not technical, so I never knew much about coding, but for that particular hackathon, I brought up the idea, I designed the pitch deck, and I understood the idea I had, and I wanted to explain that. So, but when I got to the stage and I was explaining, everything was moving fine. In fact, I even had the performing in the slide. Everything was moving fine until one of the judges now asked me, "Can I see the code base of your project?" First of all, I was like, "Which one be code base again?" So I was thinking, what's in my mind, what's code base? Where is code base? Who is code base? So while spending some time thinking about that, they were like, I should just go to my GitHub and get my code base. And then I knew I had a GitHub account, but nothing was happening there. This GitHub where you have green. Mine was just blank. So I think Kevin now came off stage and was like, Kevin is my friend. He now came on stage and was like, oh, that he's going to show that. And then he open, show the stuff to the judges and they say, okay, that's nice. So that moment was really, man, I was so tense, what's code base? And people were just looking at me like, bro, show us the code base. So, but I learned a whole lot during the process, learning that particular aspect too. It was something new to me then. But I'm super excited about the whole experience. It was really interesting.
That's beautiful. There are some experiences that when you experience, it sticks in your head.
100%.
As a community developer, what did you do when you are stuck?
When I'm stuck, it depends on where I got stuck. But if it's in terms of maybe personality about life, I sometimes, whenever I just need to clear my head, I just maybe take a swim, go to the swimming pool and, just take 30 minutes there and then come out of the water, right? Sometimes I just look for a very quiet place and stay. I might not be meditating, but I just like quietness, right? I just like peaceful places. Just go there, relax, have your peace of mind. Also touch grass as you are, and then I'm good to go. So yeah.
That's beautiful. All right, so what are you currently building?
All right, so within the Solar Africa DAO, we have an application which we're working on. It's already live. You can check it out on Google Play Store, but not on iOS yet. Okay. It's called 𝐔𝐒𝐓. So it enables seamless and borderless payments using crypto stable coins.
So can you on-ramp and off-ramp or basically
you can
on-ramp and
yes. You can also use the stables to make payment for your maybe airtime or data applications and all those stuff.
And then is it only limited to the Celo blockchain?
For now, yes, because it's built on Celo, right? Yeah, it's built on Celo. So we are using Celo stables, CUSD, 𝐔𝐒𝐓, and other stable coins within other regions. Right, and yeah, it's available on several countries like Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, and whatnot. Yeah.
But are there plans to integrate other blockchains in the future?
Likely, of course, because multi-chain is one good thing that helps bring ecosystems all together. But currently it's still single chain.
Okay, thank you. So guys, you guys should check out 𝐔𝐒𝐓, your best app for off-ramping and on-ramping. So if you have stables you want to save, because it's to pay to make international payments, both national and international. Anyone you want to do it, use 𝐔𝐒𝐓 to do it.
100%.
That's good. So I want to ask you, have you heard of Sandbox before?
Yes, I have, during an event at Itenugu.
What did you learn about Sandbox in the event?
I love games, and when I heard about Sandbox, I realized it's a Web3 game, and it's something that caught my attention. Because most times we've been playing several Web2 games, and at the end of the day, no reward, no incentives, no records on chain, and you just maybe once you're done, you just get tired and then delete the apps. Right. So, but it's about Sandbox, the track record, the transparency, everything is literally there. And then it's something that I actually do encourage. Right. So I've one time ago thought about, while you're playing games and you keep earning coins, imagine converting those coins to tokens, which you can also still convert to fiat. Right. Which is like actually getting value for your time, which I think that's one more thing that Web3 is actually giving out there as one of the use cases, which is really interesting. So yeah, for the sandbox game stuff, it's something I do like to explore further.
That's interesting, and I'm pretty sure you have heard about the Sandbox DAO.
Yeah, during the Itinubu event as well, I was able to hear about the Sandbox DAO and how the whole ecosystem was really transparent, getting to work with people, interacting with different proposals that were active there and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's really a good environment to be in.
So if you're not building a sandbox today, you are wrong. Go and build those games, go test it out, and ensure to join the Sandbox DAO and let your voice count. So make sure to check out Sandbox DAO, check out the Sandbox game, and don't miss out on anything. Yeah, so Annaelechukwu, what is something people misinterpret about you or assume about you, but it's totally wrong? This one you had to breathe in.
The thing is, so many things.
Okay.
And I'm still one person, right? So I think it's supposed to be what I am actually, not what people misinterpret about me.
Okay, so what are you?
Well, I'm the most handsome man in Enugu State. I'm Batman.
You're Batman?
Yes, and I'm just so many things.
So who is your Catwoman? Is your Batman?
My what?
You're Catwoman now.
Catwoman?
Yes, Batman has Catwoman.
Okay, Catwoman. That one is somewhere. I wouldn't want to, because the reasons why superheroes don't expose their faces.
Yes. So what's one thing you wish you knew early on as Annaelechukwu before you got into Web2?
I think I don't have any much regrets, but because Web3 is new, right?
Yeah.
And then we're just getting to know that and all that. But one thing I wish I knew is like put all your life savings in just one Bitcoin like that. Just dip everything there. But then, back then we had to survive with the little we had. So
Yes.
What matters most is the knowledge I have now. In as much as that, the money is really important. I tell people, learn before you earn because it's very, very important. At some point, you come to realize people, even in my community, I see them, people who are rushing to make it quick. They rush, maybe download a particular wallet, and then they forget that single chain wallets are totally different from, multi-chain wallets, right? And then they mistake that, and then they run transaction with it, and then their funds are nowhere to be found, right? So, getting educated first before you start earning is very, very important in the Web3 space. So that's just one minute. Even in our community, we say we are in for the tech, right? But if we see money, we will collect. So
the phone call.
So that's how it should be, right?
That's interesting. So what's one tool you can't do without?
A tool I can't do without. I don't know if I should call a wallet a tool.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's something that removes an authority or a central entity, right? So I love freedom, so I don't think there's anyone who have experienced freedom that does not want it. Right, so that's one tool I would love to mention. And then any other one in terms of community is WhatsApp. Especially in my region here in Nigeria, WhatsApp is really, amazing. It has been something that be connecting so many people together all this while. I would have mentioned Telegram, but it has been becoming noisy these days. So yes, WhatsApp is good to go.
Very noisy. We're in the final section. And in this section, we give a shout to 3 communities that has kept in your journey so far. So give a shout to those communities.
So the 3 communities I would like to mention is first Blockchain UNN, of which as we're part of the founders of Blockchain UNN, but then, being as part of the team leads and, working within that ecosystem actually helped us to push further because there's no way you can educate people about Web3 when you yourself, you don't even know about Web3 either. Right. So that community actually helped to, improve me and, get me to where I am today. There's another community called WeTeachBlockchain.com. I joined back then as an instructor and also as an ambassador. It was a community that helped me learn, in details about what Web3 is and how it works. Another community I would like to mention is AltHash. right? Odd Hash University, is a place where you can go and study, blockchain, do some capstone projects, and have an idea on how these ecosystems to work. Another community I'd like to, mention is a blockchain University of Nicosia in their blockchain course, MOOC, digital currency course, right? Although it's not a community, but it's still a community anyway because it's a university, and I would just like to give them a thumbs up. They're really doing a great job.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for being part of his journey so far. So yeah, now get to three individuals that inspires you.
One of them is Mr. 𝐌𝐔𝐒𝐓, who I consider my mentor in the Web3 space. I've actually learned a lot from him while starting out in this space. Another person in terms of career line is Mr. Aliu Musa, who actually helped me, giving me so many advices and whatnot. So I've actually gained a lot from him. Another person, there are so many persons, honestly.
There are so many persons, but then just don't give up.
One more person is someone who I've also worked with, Mr. Henry Chukwuka, the founder of 𝐔𝐒𝐓, right? 𝐔𝐒𝐓. So I've actually learned a lot from him, and it has really been interesting working with him as well.
Oh, so shout out to Mr.
Chukwuka Henry.
Shout out to Mr. Aliu Musa, and then shout out to Mr. 𝐌𝐔𝐒𝐓. Shout out to you guys for helping build this journey, and then you guys inspire him. So yeah, shout out to you guys. And finally, Annaelechukwu, what's the advice you give to someone watching this video who is about to get into Web3?
Well, I would say there's just one thing involved. Learn first, no matter what you want to do, whether you are a graphics designer, even a lawyer, whatever skill you want to get into, make sure you learn, understand how the Web3 ecosystem works, have an idea, try to test the systems. When you learn about wallets, download a particular Web3 wallet and do basic transactions, see how these things work, right? If they tell you that you can verify transactions on chain, go to any of the explorers, place the wallet address there, verify them, and see how they function, right? Whatever you want to do, make sure you learn and understand. Have an intermediate knowledge in the Web3 space before you do anything else. That's one thing I would like to advise you.
Okay, and one more thing. What advice you have been given before?
I have given?
You have been given?
Okay, I've been given.
Yeah.
I think randomly back then, trading, someone said I should long it to 1000x, so I just did that. There was no 1000x in here, but I think is it 100x or something like that?
Yeah, that's
so, the price went up fast and went down fast, so that's the summary.
Damn, that's crazy. I mean, the money went tinkle of an eye. So, thank you, Annaelechukwu, for being part of BDS Corner. So, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. So, yeah, that's it for today. See you guys in the next episode. Make sure to subscribe. Follow Annaelechukwu. His username is on his head. Follow me, and follow BDS Corner and Chilo. I'll see you next time. Stay blessed.
Bye.